Hey, what's up, guys? It's GS. My name's Joe.
My name's Ed.
And today we're doing something a little bit different. We're checking out the trailer for the new Castlevania series coming out on Netflix. It's an exclusive red cartridge released by Netflix, which is somehow just comes dusty and you have to blow on it and put it in your NES.
Weird.
So yeah, hit some yard sales because in order to watch this series, you're going to need to have an NES. So Ed hasn't seen this at all yet. I've seen the trailer already. I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm amazed that they brought in the actual NES here for this trailer.
Yeah.
This is very strange.
We're going to be pausing this as we go through it also. This screenshot here is a very distorted shot from Castlevania 3 for NES, which is a hint of what's to come.
So this is like the opening of that game?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the showing of the actors and all that stuff, that's not in the opening of Castlevania 3. Just that one shot. And that upshot of the castle, that's not. I don't think that's actually in Castlevania 3, but...
You know, when I first heard about this TV show, I didn't know that it was going to be animated.
A savior is needed.
Which kind of sounds dumb when I say it.
So that was Trevor.
Oh yeah, Trevor.
From Castlevania 3. It's redesigned, but it's supposed to be him. And here we've got Alucard. And there's Sypha. Oh, let's rewind a little bit.
This looks super competently
You don't really get
done.
to see her. So there's Alucard. Yeah, it's a cool art style, and it seems like the animation's going to be good. Anyway, that was Sypha. This is Grant. There's another character, Castlevania 3. Pretty exciting, because he's using knives. Grant uses knives and axes, so it's clear that that's supposed to be Grant. And we got Dracula, and then more of more. It just shows basically the four main characters from Castlevania 3. So I'm freaking excited about it.
July 7th? What?
Yeah, it's pretty soon.
I was expecting like a year from now or something. No, okay. So it's already done. The art style, do you know who it's by? It looks distinct.
No, but we're going to autoplay something.
It's competent. Oh, get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get out of here. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know anything about the story of Castlevania or the characters, but I'm going to watch it.
But yeah, I'm especially excited about it. I guess I already said that. But now we're going to play Castlevania 3. We're playing it now. That trailer really got me in the mood to play some Castlevania 3 again after seeing all my favorite characters in a brilliantly animated form, even though we only got to see them for about half a second each. So what do you guys think about this new Netflix series? Tell us in the comments below.
And if you've seen it already because you're an industry insider, let us know what you thought.
Yeah, please. Is it good?
If you work for Netflix.
Is it as fun as it looks?
Yeah, it looks great, actually. Yeah, I previously had no interest in the Castlevania series, except for the DS Metroidvania games, but...
Yeah, I mean, those are the best ones, to be honest. Maybe Symphony of the Night, that's way up there as well, but... I have a soft spot for the old NES Castlevania games and these 16-bit era games as well, particularly Castlevania 3 and Castlevania Bloodlines. I know Castlevania 4 is kind of considered the cream of the crop of the old school Castlevania games, but yeah. I think Castlevania 3 is probably my favorite of the older Castlevania games.
Castlevania 4 was for Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
And that was where it really got great, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's probably pound for pound the best game, but it's not necessarily my favorite. I think I just have the best memories of Castlevania 3. I played it the most of all the old ones.
And just like Super Mario Brothers, the second game in the series for the NES was really different, right? Wasn't it? It was not as well received for a couple of reasons.
Which one? Castlevania 4?
Castlevania 2.
Oh, Castlevania 2 for NES?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they made a lot of changes, and it was ambitious for the time especially. There was a lot of RPG elements, and if you want to see a great review of it, just watch the Angry Nintendo Nerd episode of it.
So basically it was The Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Kind of, yeah. It had similar kind of RPG progression mechanics that weren't really well fleshed out.
1990! Alright, so your name's SG, as we all know.
Yeah, the controls are a little bit messed up, but I don't feel like screwing around to make it say GS because we're never going to see that again.
So instead we're Same Goop. That's the name of this channel now. Same Goop.
So here's a cool little cinematic intro for you.
This looks like the first game in a lot of ways. Like, I think graphically, right? Does it use a lot of the same sprites?
And gameplay. It's basically the same control, and yeah, a lot of the same sprites.
Now the main character here, this is Simon Belmont?
No, this is Trevor.
Trevor Belmont.
Yeah, this is Trevor Belmont. This is actually the second game as far as canon goes. This takes place second. The first game in chronological order of the Castlevania story is Lament of Innocence, and then this is the second one. So this was the oldest one for a good while. This was basically considered the prequel to Castlevania.
Now I have very fond memories of watching you playing Castlevania 1 at your house when I was a very small boy. But I never had the patience for it myself.
This game really perfected that formula. Not a great formula. Pretty frustrating games, but this is miles ahead of the first Castlevania. Full disclosure, bats. Oh yeah. Sign
Yeah,
behavior
I was just
bats.
gonna say
they're not even that bad.
No, I was gonna say let's talk about all the reasons the formula didn't work, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about them when we get there. But anyway, you're gonna say full disclosure.
Full disclosure, I've actually never beaten this game legitimately. I've beaten the original Castlevania legitimately, but I used to play this when I was a small child, when I played it the most, and then I didn't have the patience to do it when I was older. I've beaten it with save states before, which we're going to be using during this playthrough. Or not playthrough, we're not going to be playing through the entire game, but we're going to be using save states so that we can show more of the game.
Nice. I forgot we had those set up already.
Yeah, those should be working. Let's see if the load state works. Yeah, it does.
Cool.
So yeah, they reused this enemy. They reused a lot of enemies, sound effects. It's just kind of the design perfected this type of game.
It's good to be able to perfect a formula, even if that formula itself is not perfect. You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of frustration. Now this, they teach you how this works, which is kind of nice. But it would probably be better if that was if you had to do if there wasn't the stairs here. If they forced you to discover how those work before you get into the point where it's dangerous to traverse them. Because if these Medusas hit you, you get knocked back, and if you get knocked back onto one of these, you drop. And if you take the lower level, or if you get knocked back here, you fall to your death.
That's a great place for that.
Yeah,
for that platform.
It's a little bit difficult for a first level.
So we're 2 minutes in. We've already seen sign bats and sign Medusas, as well as jumping in a game that does not do jumping very well.
We've also played this game before on a GS Classics episode. I should reveal that, but most of you probably haven't seen that one. It was NES. I think it was Monster Games. I think that's what we called that episode.
Yeah, if you want to see real old GS.
But we're going to be covering the game in a little bit more depth in this episode than we did in that one. We're going to play it for a full episode instead of just as a segment. So maybe we're saying the same things that we did when we played it there.
Isn't there an enemy Ninja Gaiden that has exactly that pattern? The runner?
Maybe.
Like
there's Wall Turkey. That's a classic.
Wall Turkey.
A staple. And every turkey in Dust and Elysian Tale is called Wall Turkey, even if it doesn't come from a wall.
It's just called Wall Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is straight up an enemy from Ninja Gaiden, I think. Maybe it's like a wolf or something, I don't know. Has that same kind of like jumping, hopping.
Yeah, annoying patterns. If you want to look at annoying enemy patterns that you should never put in your games, look no further than Castlevania series and Ninja Gaiden series for NES.
It really highlights how effective the transition to Metroidvania was for this series, I think, right? I mean, it seems like it was falling into obscurity when the PlayStation hit, you know?
I mean, they were still making games, but the N64 ones were not good.
Yeah, like the transition to 3D, I guess, has not been particularly favorable.
No, I played through, like, Lament of Innocence I couldn't play, that wasn't very good, but Castlevania Curse of Darkness, I actually enjoyed that. It was kind of mediocre, I guess, but I enjoyed Castlevania Curse of Darkness just because I can sit through most Castlevania games just because I like the atmosphere and the characters and, like I said before, the story and everything, but...
Are you fighting a bull skeleton?
Yeah. Oh shit. He has a pretty big reach. But yeah, this guy's a pretty simple pattern.
What is he? He just walks towards you?
And tries to hit you with that little sword.
Oh. Well, take that, Darkula.
So they don't really throw you in the deep end too hard on this. Maybe the Medusa section is a little bit hard for the first level, but this level is probably even easier than the original Castlevania's first level, but it does not stay that way. Overall, this game is way harder than Castlevania, in my opinion.
And that Medusa section was almost straight away in the level, and they didn't introduce it in isolation. They had it along with the falling platforms, almost right away. Now, the falling platform they did introduce like a second beforehand.
Yeah.
Not enough time for you to actually understand and master it, though.
Yeah.
So right away they throw you, and this thing, yeah. Right away they throw the Medusas at you. You get just enough time to understand what's actually happening, and then, you know, sign behavior for days.
And, more replay value in the game. I guess we'll take this so we can demonstrate it, but there's, to add replay value to the game, there are multiple paths that you can choose. So this is one of the earlier games that I remember doing that. and it makes it more fun. Like if you get bored of a game, which is pretty easy to get bored of a lot of NES games. I used to switch between lots of different games when I was younger, but games now can hold your attention better. They're like formulated to hold your attention and keep you playing and addicted. But back then, you used to switch between games a lot, but you wouldn't have to switch as much with this, or like a game like a Mega Man game or something, because you could try different levels. And in this, you could try different paths. So after you beat the first level, you already get a branching path that you can take, and you unlock different. This just stops the enemies from moving. Oh shit! I was gonna take that holy water. That's alright. We don't really need it.
Did it disappear if you didn't pick it up?
Yeah. That's fine. I don't really like when modern games make items disappear, unless it's really mechanically necessary. But on the NES, it's necessary just for hardware limitation issues.
If they didn't do that, the system would probably catch fire, which has been known to happen.
Yeah.
That's not true at all.
No, not at all. So this is pretty good because you're fairly safe, except for that one pit on the right side, which probably shouldn't be there.
That jump does not look like you could make it.
Yeah, you're right to make it though.
Platforming in the Castlevania series is, well, I don't know.
Kind of difficult.
It looks difficult and not fun. Ninja Gaiden was the same way too?
No, Ninja Gaiden was easier to control.
That had like free movement in the air, right?
Ninja Gaiden, the enemies were mainly the issue. In Castlevania, the jumping is the issue. Like Ninja Gaiden has pretty decent control. It just has a lot of enemies that just respawn and over again if you run off screen. That's one of the issues, and just very, very cheap attack patterns.
Yeah, you know, whenever I think of the term NES difficulty, I'm usually thinking of Castlevania.
Yeah, I generally think of Castlevania and Ninja Gaiden first, two games that I have beaten.
And then I think about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, where you're underwater and you're trying to defuse all those bombs.
Yeah, that's not even the hard part of that game, though. It's annoying, but it's not necessarily... It's not the worst part, at least as far as difficulty goes. It is one of the most unfun parts, I guess.
Woo! So now we're combining Medusas with platforming. Two things that...
Yeah, they always like to throw Medusas in clock towers or vertical areas in Castlevania games to knock you down.
Even in the more modern Metroidvania games, those are still not super enjoyable. You know? They still do that, though, yeah.
I guess we'll keep the axe.
I will say the environments. I mean, the environments have always been my favorite part of... Well, one of my favorite parts of the new Metroidvania games, and they're still really good here. Like, these environments are awesome for an NES, you know?
Yeah, some of the tiles look a little weird, like the way that they line up. I guess that's really the only graphical issue I can point out with this game. But really, I think this game is graphically a masterpiece at for the time, and even now I think it looks good.
The colors look a little unusual to me.
Yeah,
everything looks like it's been inverted. Like you went into Photoshop and inverted everything color-wise.
Yeah, I guess the colors aren't. They are a little weird here.
But the actual art itself, like the detail, and the bricks and the columns and everything, and the gears, yeah, I think it looks really nice. Damn, it's hot in here.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit hot.
We're also drinking coffee, hot coffee.
All right. Oh, cool. Well, at least she knocked me in the direction I was already going.
Gravity, just like in Dark Souls. The biggest threat is gravity.
Alright, so we got the boss coming up here.
Okay.
We have the correct weapon for him. Hopefully a weapon that we don't want doesn't drop out of that. No. Okay, good.
What is it? It's a monkey.
He's some kind of a hobgoblin type of guy. Hunchback? I don't know.
Is it still too soon to make Harambe jokes? I won't do it because that's low brow. No, I'm just kidding. It's not low brow. I'll do it. Hobgoblin. Does this guy have a name?
Yes, he does. We're going to find out what his name is very soon.
Is it Hobo Goblin? That's what I would propose.
So another really cool feature of this game, besides having branching paths, is that it has multiple playable characters. The first two Castlevania games, you played as one guy, Simon. And this one you play as Trevor, who's basically plays just like Simon. And he's Simon's father, actually. And then you get these other guys who control completely differently and have different abilities, different moves, and they get different power-ups. It's pretty cool.
My name is Grant. I dreamed I was turned
Oh,
into a...
he was a ghost. It wasn't a hobgoblin or a hunchback.
That definitely looked like a ghost and not like any sort of solid creature. Please take me with you. My family was killed by Dracula. What will you do? So you can actually leave him behind and just continue playing
Yeah,
as
you can
Trevor?
continue playing as... There's no point, though. There's absolutely zero advantage to leaving him behind at this point. You'll see later on, when we get another character, that there is an advantage to leaving one of the characters behind, which I'll... You can only have one extra character. I guess I'll just say it now. There's really no point in waiting to say it. But if you encounter another player character to bring with you, you leave the other one behind. You leave the old one behind if you take the new one.
Do you get to choose... Oh, you do. You get to choose between Trevor
Yes.
and your secondary character then.
Yeah, so we press the select button and we get to play as Grant here, who's probably my favorite character in the game because watch this. We can change directions when we jump.
That in itself is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we can also climb on walls, so we
Ooh.
can skip parts, so we can skip over parts. So this level is designed to be traversed both ways, obviously, and it's designed to be traversed by Grant on the way down, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool design, the way that they did it. Reminds me a little bit of a part in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I guess we won't spoil, even though the game is super old.
I wonder if that's where they got the inspiration from, this game.
Maybe.
Doing the whole
probably
thing
not.
backwards? No, you don't think?
Maybe.
I guess I can see the similarities, but it's a cool idea. So Grant can change directions in midair.
Yes, I'm going to take this hit here.
Ooh.
He also has a lower defense.
And a shorter range, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he takes about 50% more damage over
Jesus.
our pal Trevor here. Yeah, I guess we'll get him a weapon because he doesn't have one.
2. What is 2?
That allows you to throw 2 special items instead of just one. Normally you're limited to one of your special attack on screen at a time, so right now it's a dagger, but if I have the 2, we can throw 2. So there's 2.
Nice. It's all coming back to me
let's
now.
save.
We played this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, this is actually our second take at recording this. The first one wasn't that great,
I
so
was
we're doing it
drunk.
again, and this time we wanted to watch the Netflix trailer before we did it, so we could talk about that while we were playing it and while we were watching the cool trailer.
Speaking of those other shows that were on that trailer, Narcos, I just finished that.
Oh, really?
Really good show. First season is about Pablo Escobar. Crazy dude. He's like a drug kingpin. Really good show.
That was close.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save. So yeah, those spikes are there. You're probably wondering why they were there on the way up, because they're not in a particularly precarious area. Oh yeah, also if you fall down on the way up, you just die. If the bottom of the screen... If the bottom of the screen is not... doesn't have a platform on it.
I guess that's a
kind of
limitation.
annoying. But here, doesn't matter so much. When
Well-
or not here. When you're on the way down, it doesn't matter. The screen will scroll with you and you won't fall down. But they put spikes there to prevent you from just dropping too fast. So that's why those were there.
They need you to go this slow and steady route, I guess.
So we're doing some platforming. So let's just switch to Grant.
Yeah.
here.
Does Grant jump far? No, it doesn't
jumps
look like
higher.
Okay.
He jumps
does.
higher, but not farther. Just a little bit higher. I think...
Whoa. You can get in there.
Yeah, we can get in here, but I guess there's nothing in here.
It's kind of goofy. You know, I was just thinking about replaying Dawn of Sorrow again for the DS. Yeah, DS. Great game.
Yeah, amazing game. It's one of the best ones, if not the best one in the entire Castlevania series. I mean, the Metroidvania Castlevanias are the best ones. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's probably either number 1 or 2, tied with Portrait of Ruin.
yeah, I like Portrait of Ruin a little bit more, but they're both awesome.
I like Portrait, but I also like the
Spikes?
Oh my god.
I took that risk. I was trying to rush, but that was stupid. All right.
You fell so fast.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a single cohesive castle. That's not to say that Portrait is a bad game by any means. It's just
There
a
we go.
personal preference. It's like the
Oh,
smallest...
come on.
Oh,
That's one thing that Castlevania does really well is lock you onto stairs when you don't want to be locked onto those stairs.
oh, you did it. Nice.
Yeah, I love the music in this game too. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and probably my favorite Castlevania soundtrack. Bloodlines gives it a run for its money, but Castlevania 3 and Castlevania Bloodlines are my 2 favorite Castlevania soundtracks.
I wonder, did they change composers between the classic Castlevania games and then the Metroidvania games? Because I remember the
Yeah.
Dawn of Sorrow having a
Yeah, they did.
distinctly different soundtrack.
Yeah, they've had different composers for the games. Actually, I'm not 100% sure who composed which game, so I'm not going to talk out of my ass here, but they definitely have had several different composers on the Castlevania games. Yes, I did it this time.
Nice.
Last time we played, I screwed this part up. I don't think I got hit, but I didn't get these owls right as they were coming out. There we go. That's what you're supposed to do. So yeah, the boomerang, they give you the boomerang in a part where it's really fun to use it if you know what you're doing. Which, I thought I knew what I was doing. Oh yeah, and they come back.
So these owls have a modified version of sign behavior.
It's not really, it's just a...
They just have an arc.
Yeah, what is that called?
An arc.
A parabola.
There you
I think it's called a parabola.
Yeah. Because anything flying in a straight line is too easy, apparently.
Do you know math terms? Do you know geometry? Is it geometry? Maybe.
Yeah, geometry is all about circles, shapes, angles, and shit. I don't know.
What do you need to know for geometry?
Circles.
I mean, why do you need to know geometry? Most people really don't need to know geometry.
We need to know
It's
it.
kind of a waste.
We need it for gaming, for coding.
Kind of. Yeah, we do need a little bit, I guess. But
Well, I guess.
I don't know all the advanced parts of geometry.
Well, to be honest, it's just easier to go online and take the code from somebody else.
I can barely do algebra, I'll be honest. But we make video games. Well, we're making one video game, and we've made lots of practice games.
I've had to
Do
do
we
some...
want the axe? I don't think so.
No. I've done some interesting math for Glassbreaker. Stuff that
Yeah.
I had to like sit and think about for a minute.
Ed's definitely better at math. Neither of us is an expert.
No.
but
Yeah, like you said, I can add things,
So that's kind of like a...
but I can't subtract.
That's kind of just... That's just a short level to get you to the next path. We are going to take the top path so that we can see another character. But the bottom path has frogs in it.
That's the benefit to going that path, huh?
And mudmen. Oh, shit.
Mudmen. Oh, mudmen.
Yeah, that was good.
Ooh.
Here was what we're...
Oh, can you do it?
Oh, I saved over it. Alright. Oh, well.
You know that sprite of Grant in the top right corner there reminds me a lot of the.
Yeah, they give you Grant, and then he's not really very good after that clock tower.
Oh, really?
Level. Not right now. Not for the 2 levels after it. Because this is just a horizontal level, and so was the previous one. There wasn't really any point to having him.
Oh.
In the clock tower, there's lots of places for him to climb around and shortcuts if you use Grant cleverly, but here not so much. Sort of like Ocarina of Time in a way, where you just use the item that you just got for that dungeon, and then not that much after.
Oh yeah.
But here in later levels, if you do keep him, he does become useful again. So I kind of wish that there were some places here for him to be useful, just because you still feel like you just got him.
Are those spawning infinitely?
Yeah, they are. They're super annoying because I'm trying to make this fucking jump, but, you know.
Yeah. That's a good place for a pit and all these enemies. Huh. I was gonna say, he reminds me of in Darkest Dungeon. There's a class.
Fuck, I'm gonna get hit.
I think it's
Oh,
the
no.
gunner class, like the duelist or the. What do you
Oh,
call that?
I should know what he's called.
You know, the Western cowboy style, like gunslinger. I think it's gun.
No, he's
is
not
it?
called Gunslinger.
No, something like that.
I should know what he's called. The Highwayman.
Hi, there you go. That's the one.
This
Yeah.
is getting really, really annoying. There we go. I just had to
Castlevania.
wait for one of those to not appear.
Yeah. Can you cheese it like in Mega Man if you just go off screen and then come back on? You know how that works with Airman stage. You can do that.
I think you can get them to spawn differently if you come off the... It could make
Oh.
it worse, it could make it better. Where the fuck did we last save?
Oh.
Where did we save? Right here. Okay, good.
You really need some wall turkey.
Yeah, we might wind up taking a death here. I don't think there's anything here. I don't think
Uh-oh.
they hide wall turkey and things that don't look like walls.
Quick,
It's
get
kind of
the
nice of them.
get the Game Genie by Galoob.
So this door here is a save point and a loading point for the game to think about what the next area looks like. Yeah, this game's randomly generated if you didn't know. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's not random at all. This would be pretty amazing if this was randomly generated in 1990 when it came out. Do we want that? No, too late.
Too late.
I forget. We're almost at the boss though.
There's no turkey between here and the boss, huh?
No, they're pretty stingy with that shit in the old Castlevania games. Oh shit!
Wow, he threw a little spider at you.
Yeah, he really has no regard for spider life.
His own children.
As a spider.
Uh-oh. Whew. That was close.
Okay, this is the boss. I think we're just gonna get killed at this boss, which will probably take us back pretty far.
Save state and do a perfect no-hit run.
Oh, I will save state.
Oh. This guy, Cyclops.
Yeah.
Cyclops with a hammer. Or is it a drum? Looks like a drum. I guess it's a hammer, though.
Yeah, it's a hammer. Oh, shit. So this is how you do it.
That's a weird pattern.
Actually, yeah, let's try and perfect run it. Let's see if we can get him. Shit. Oh, we did it.
Nice.
Oh, we did do it. Okay, great. Good news, everyone.
Do you heal between levels here?
Yes.
All right.
This red ball heals you.
Mm.
So we didn't really get to see that much of Grant because he's not that useful for these levels, and we want to show another character. We're going to take Sypha at this point, who is kind of the caster character, I guess, of the game.
I need to go for the obvious.
Sypha!
That one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody ever made that joke? I'm pretty sure no. But who is she? Is she in other games, other Castlevania games? Because I have no knowledge of this character.
Yeah, I think so. I think she was in a fighting game. See, and it says take him with you because they're trying to pull a fast one on you.
Oh.
Because I mean, you can't tell that it's a woman in the sprite, obviously. So I actually thought it was a guy for a long time when I was a kid, because I never beat the game. You don't discover that it's a woman until the ending. If you beat the game with each character has a different ending. Depending on who you get to the end of the game with, you get a different ending. And yeah, that's Sypha's ending. Sort of like a Metroid type of thing. So I think the ghost ship level is next. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And so what does Sypha do?
We will find out right now.
Is she a ghost? She looks like a ghost.
Yeah, kind of. I think I used to think that she was a ghost.
Oh, yeah, that portrait is very androgynous. You definitely can't tell.
So yeah, here's our first spell here. I think you can get over there if you have Grant, but not the other characters. So you can see this wand or baseball bat, whatever this thing is. You don't get much reach, but you kind of make up for it with your special. Come on! I was about to demonstrate what the special did, but I could not because I got attached to the stairs there. Alright, so that's what it does. She can also get the stopwatches, but those are kind of boring for playing as a caster character. We can get those with any old character.
So each character has a specific set of upgrades.
Yeah,
that
a
they
specific set of special attacks.
Special attacks.
I don't know if you want to, whatever you want to call it, but
what is this guy doing?
So yeah, this character uses up a lot of your hearts because this is crap.
Yeah.
What do we have with Trevor? I think we have the axe still with him, so we'll just use that to eliminate this guy so we can keep going.
What were they thinking?
Yeah, kind of annoying that... Oh, come on. And I don't want to get attached to the stairs. I don't want to go too far back because we'll get ourselves stuck on the stairs. Oh, come on. Oh, that did a lot of damage. So the fire doesn't actually quite reach. So we'll just do this. Outsmarted. And those enemies make another appearance in... Oh, there's another place where you can use Grant. So you can see they were planning ahead for you to be able to use different character... For you to be able to gain an advantage by using different characters. I mean, Grant pretty much is the only one that gives you access to areas that you wouldn't have been able to access as other characters. But different characters are good for different parts of the game. I don't know if we want this, I forget.
This is a pretty ambitious improvement over Castlevania 1.
Yeah.
I can't speak for Castlevania 2, I've never played it. But I do know about that wind, where you have to duck in the corner, and the wind gets you.
Yeah, there's really, really esoteric elements in Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2. So it's sort of like Legend of Zelda or Adventure of Link in that way, and they did it even worse though than those games did.
This game came out in the same year as Ikari Warriors for the Atari 2600.
It did.
Hard to believe, huh?
Actually, this isn't going to be a smart move. We're just going to take more damage.
Oh.
She has a lower defense. Oh,
Nice.
that didn't look like it hit him. The hitbox on the fire is a little bit hard to predict.
Well, those guys, those little ghosts, those were in the Metroidvania games too.
So I guess Sypha's kind of like a glass cannon type of character. Because the fire does do a lot of damage and it has pretty decent reach, but if you get hit, you really get hit.
I was gonna say that looks like a trap, but it wasn't. It was just regular platforming.
Nah, you just gotta time it right. The platforming in this really puts butterflies in your stomach sometimes. Oh, come on. You would think they'd give you the benefit of the doubt and allow that to land on the platform, but nah.
Oh my god!
And they gave me the benefit of the doubt there. So I guess we'll take that.
Oh god. I was gonna say, with that, when the heart fell through, don't you think they tested it? Don't you think they ever broke that, what was it, a candlestick, and watched that heart just fall through the level?
Yeah,
and we're like, let's move
probably.
this over a couple pixels.
And there's another item we can't get unless we're Grant.
Oh.
So they really tease you a lot in this game. They do that in Castlevania Bloodlines a lot.
What are those? What are those?
This is Medusa. I think I'm just going to try to tank her. Let's see if it works.
Snack. Wow. You got it, you got it.
Yeah, it worked. She like shoots snakes at you and a bow and arrow. I think the snakes go along the ground and the bow and arrow goes straight, if I remember right. It's a pretty simple attack pattern. Alright, I think we're going to get killed here, though.
Why does the Medusa boss not have sign behavior? But the Medusa enemies do. You know,
She's bigger.
that's all I'm saying.
She's like a bigger Medusa.
That's what I want. That's all I want to know. I could die easily. I mean, die happy, not easily.
Yeah.
I could die easily too. But
I mean, I guess. I guess there's lots of easy ways to die if you really wanted to, but
can I just say, everybody who's ever played this game on the NES or on a
wow.
PC
How
has
generous.
died or will die in the future. So make of that what you will.
yeah, the game is cursed. It's called Dracula's Curse.
There you go.
So this is roughly where we got when we first tried to record this title.
Why did we? I guess it
It just wasn't a very good episode, so we decided not to air it. Partly for that, partly because it was kind of half quality GS. We want to give you guys a good episode whenever we can. So cool.
the timing.
Right as I say that.
The
Fucking
timing.
brilliant, huh?
Maybe should we make that? Is it not even good enough to put it as a bonus app? Maybe not.
Nah, don't bother, because we're doing it right now. We're doing a better job. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
this episode's going way better than the first time we tried to record it.
The patrons, the Patronus.
We got to give them better content than that.
Well, yeah, it's either that content or no content, though, right?
I would choose no content.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about it off the show if you
No,
want.
let's talk about it on the show in front of everybody.
Okay, we can. It's fine.
No, you're right. It's
There's probably more interesting topics.
I'll have to go back and watch the footage, but no, you're right. I'll just trash it without watching it after I watch it, you know? Birds. More sign-like behavior. It'll be really cool. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out... Well, no, this will be out soon. It'd be really cool if in Glassbreaker we added sign behavior to our enemies. All of them. Let's do that.
There's another shortcut up there for Grant.
Is it a shortcut or is it just a different path?
It's a shortcut.
Okay.
It allows you basically to skip straight to the boss. But we have to contend with this skeleton down here if we don't have the shortcut. So not a huge advantage. That part's not particularly hard.
Wait, that was the shortcut? You
Yeah.
skip a skeleton.
Yeah, you skip a screen basically. Okay, so now it's time for one of our favorite classic
Darkula.
monsters.
Death? Darkula.
You'll
Yeah,
see.
It's death.
You will see.
It's ghastly.
He's covered in band-aids.
Oh!
Yeah, they're mummies, and they throw bandages at you.
The bandages have sign behavior.
Yeah, everything has sign behavior, but it's such a small amount of sign behavior that they could have just made it like a bigger object, and it would have the same effect.
Yeah.
Why am I doing it this way? Let's just reload here, huh?
I just get annoyed at the sight of sign behavior now. Like, I understand the uses for it. God, it's so useful everywhere in gaming. In game development particularly, but oh my god. Just seeing it makes me rage a little bit.
So we want to kill one of these quick.
There you go. Is this boss weak to Sypha's fire ability?
Probably. We should have tested it. Should we go back and test it?
No.
No.
Well, we can. I don't know.
So anyway, this is the thing that Sypha transformed from before.
Oh, it's not over.
And now we're going to fight it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's not over.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Well, that doesn't do any damage to it. That's interesting.
Huh.
Alright. So it's strong against fire. Yeah, probably those mummies are weak to fire, I would guess. Yeah.
Don't die. Save. Woo! Oh. Oh, you're right here.
Yeah, I just saved at the hammer time.
Hammer time.
Our hammering friend. Hammer and Harry. Oh, he's strong against axes as well.
He's strong against everything, I guess. What is he not? Oh, that jump. Come on. Come on. Is that the intended way to make that, to evade that attack?
I believe so, yeah.
He's just bumbling into you. He's not really attacking. Oh, come on. Collision.
Maybe we just jump over him.
Oh, I guess that worked too, yeah.
If he's moving fast, you can just jump straight up.
Oh, I see.
But in the previous level, that worked, just jumping over him like that.
Yeah, kind of
I
weird.
don't know.
Maybe the platforms are at a very slightly different position or something like that. Something ridiculous.
But in the previous level, you couldn't dodge him on the left side. You couldn't jump over him on the left side. Oh yeah, that's the other way you beat him, is you just proc this attack over and over again. I think this is how I used to do it. Oh no, but sometimes he does the dashing attack too, so.
Not hard to dodge, though. Well played. So Castlevania 3, huh?
Yeah, check it out. Buy a copy at your
Local
Toys R Us.
Funko Land.
Yeah, I don't know.